How you doing, folks? Adam here. Welcome back to the channel. I want to take the opportunity today to answer a few of the questions that I've actually received recently. Folks have contacted me that have watched my videos on the Appalachian Trail, and they are actually fairly interested. Uh, kind of what process I went through to get started, how I made my choices, and what, of course, steps I went through once I made the decision to go on my through hike. So that's kind of what I want to do here today. First thing I gotta say is, okay, you've decided to go on a through hike. What's next? The first thing and the most important thing I have to say is that you need to make sure that you are physically capable of going on a through hike. It's not something to be taken lightly, and I'm not talking about just being completely out of shape, because there's a lot of folks, myself included, that started a through hike completely out of shape. No. What I'm talking about is, do you have any underlying issues with your joints? Your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips, your back. I mean, there's all of those are going to be constantly tested the entire time you're hiking. Every single step, you're going to be putting yourself through a little bit more force, a little bit more pressure than you're used to on a daily basis. So that's something you want to have to be able to train for, to get ready for. The second thing is, of course, you know, have a baseline kind of conditioning, get to shape to yourself. I'm not saying throw on a 50-pound pack and go walk on a Stairmaster for 2-3 hours a day. No, that's just not necessary. But you want to be able to make sure, know yourself, know you're capable of going on some hikes, going on some walks. Throw on a backpack, throw in a bottle of water or two, work your way up to about 15 pounds or so, and just walk through your neighborhood. Who cares if you look silly? You're going to do things for yourself, and you're not going to care what you look like once you're finally out on the trail. Trust me on that one. So, what do you do about the physical aspect of getting ready for a through hike? Getting in shape is very important. You obviously want to be able to do things comfortably, easily. You don't want to be dragging butt at the end of the day. So, what I can say is the best time to get ready to prepare for a through hike is to have started 10 years ago. Obviously, you can't do that. Nobody can time travel. So, the second best time to actually get ready for a through hike is to start today. And what I mean by that is, if you need to lose some weight, okay, fine. Go ahead and do it. Go on a diet, do a couple things, work out. Little things, just go walking up and down your neighborhood, walking up and down the street. You can walk a mile a day, 2 miles a day. You're going to drop some pounds just by doing that. And you're also going to be getting yourself ready for the hiking, the walking part, everything else. It's all going to build on each other. You train for through hiking by hiking. You train for hiking itself by just walking. You know, you don't have to go on super steep trails, terrain, anything like that. That's unnecessary. Just walk. Just get yourself comfortable. Get yourself in the mindset that, okay, I like this. I better like this because I'm going to be doing it for a few months. So, after you've decided, and you got the pace going, and you really want to get into the whole through hiking thing, there are a couple things you're going to need to pick up. Obviously, you're going to have some gear. You have whatever gear you pick, make sure it's gear that you're comfortable carrying. And what I mean by that is, it doesn't have to be super ultralight. It doesn't have to be the newest, the best, the shiniest, whatever. You can get some cheap used gear off Craigslist. Just as long as you make sure it's not completely beat to tar. As long as there's some durability left in it. You don't want anything that's ripped, bent, cracked, whatever. Okay, so with the gear that you're going to be picking up, you're going to need a backpack, you're going to need a sleep system, and you're going to need a shelter. That's your basics. And what I mean by that, that's your big three. That's what a lot of folks call their big three: your backpack, your sleep system, and your shelter. There are folks that go out there that don't have a shelter. They decide to, shelter hop the whole way, and I don't like to recommend that because I did see a few folks that had tried that. It doesn't always work. 2020, 2021, the shelters were packed. There's so many more people right now that are actually getting out, enjoying the trail, and just taking weekends and section hikes, doing things like that. They're getting out, so I can't say for sure that all the shelters you're going to run across will have room for you to stay. So I do recommend trying out, the whole tenting thing. I have zero experience with hammock camping. I'd like to try that in the future, and there are folks that do that. And of course, when I talk about the backpack shelter sleep system, the shelter and the sleep system are kind of rolled into one for the hammock campers. There's some one pieces. There's some folks that do the tarp, the whole deal. Again, I have no experience with that, so I'm going to stick with tenting for now. You don't need the latest, greatest, shiniest gear out there. Go to REI, you'll find some basic REI stuff. Walmart has some pretty good entry level stuff. It's not bad at all. It's kind of heavier, but if it's inexpensive and heavy, it's there's going to be a trade off. There's a very steep curve when it comes to losing weight, losing ounces on your gear, and how quickly they go up in price. Ultralight is not everything. I started off with some really heavy gear. I know a lot of folks that completed the trail using fairly heavy gear. They'd done some shakedowns while they were out there, but they still had some stuff that wasn't exactly, top shelf, super uber ultralighters. Osprey packs. The most common brand of pack that I saw out there, bar none, was Osprey. They make a couple packs that are, downwards into the 2.5, 3 pound range with the Exo series. I knew other folks that were carrying the Ethers and things like that, and those were fairly heavy packs. I myself started with an Osprey Ether AG70. That pack by itself was 5.7 pounds empty for the large size. And of course, with that, you also, because it wasn't waterproof, you had to carry the rain cover on top of that, which for me added about 5 ounces. So I was fairly close to 6 pounds empty, and that was just my pack. So, and I used that for 500 miles, so it's entirely doable. You don't have to beat yourself up trying to find the newest, shiniest gear. So when I talk about the weight, the reason I do that is because you want to be able to make sure that you are comfortable carrying the gear that you're going to carry. As long as it fits you, as long as you're comfortable using it, then you're squared away. And the best way I can say that you can find out whether or not you're comfortable with some gear, if you have friends that have extra stuff, see if you can borrow it. Go on a weekend trip. Do a shakedown. If you already have some stuff that you're looking to carry with you, do shakedown hikes. If you're brand new to camping, to backpacking, to hiking, you gotta practice. You're gonna have to get out and try some things. Take a weekend, take a long weekend. Again, if you have folks that your friends that do this kind of thing, ask to go along. I guarantee you they're going to be happy to help you out and bring you into the outdoors with them, because 99% of the folks that I have run into personally love sharing it. We love talking about it. We love bringing people to experience new things, because being outside is the best. So once you get some gear, once you get comfortable with hiking and backpacking, once you get the physical aspects kind of narrowed down and ready to go, the biggest thing after all that, it's going to be figuring out how to pay for the hike itself. Now, there's a lot of different schools of thought on, how much you're going to need to go on a through hike. The average that's kind of tossed around the most is you're going to say you're going to be spending about $1,000 a month on a through hike. And I don't care if it's the PCT, the CDT, the AT, or any of the smaller, scenic hikes that are all around the country. I've seen folks that got away with a lot less than that. Being super minimalist. They had prepped all their food ahead of time. They were getting supply drops, and they had it squared away all the way up. And then there's other folks that they took a lot of extra days. They stayed in almost every hostel we came across. They stayed in every town we came across. They ate out at the restaurants. They stopped at the pubs. And yeah, that is going to add up really, really quick when it comes to your budget. The first month, the crew I was with, I think only 2 of us out of the 6 didn't blow through our budget. I was not one of the folks who stayed in budget. I kind of platinum blazed a little bit there. We stayed in a couple hotels and ate at a couple really nice restaurants. So live and learn. That's what you're going to do. When it comes to actually saving money, put away $20 a week if you can. If you decided to go on a through hike and you have a set amount of time before you can go out on the trail, save $20 a week. Most folks spend $5 a day on their coffee. So saving 20 bucks a week is not difficult. Saving 30 bucks a week should not be difficult. Again, this is just a pointer. Don't hold me to it. This is just, a tip that I can give you. Just save it, or even pocket change. Save pocket change. Whenever you can, just throw it in a jar. You know, if you can find a place that'll actually convert that to cash later on, or a statement you pop in your bank, you're golden. Change adds up real quick. There are other apps that are out there. I'm sure there's like Guac or something else, that rounds up, put it into a fund, use that for your vacation fund. That's probably a great option too. I haven't explored that option, so I can't really say for sure whether or not that's great. Saving otherwise, in terms of gear, today's the first day of fall. So end of summer sales, you're going to have huge sales from all the big vendors. REI, Backcountry, Appalachian Outdoors. All the big vendors are having huge gear clearance sales. They have them, big sales for every single holiday that's out there. And it's a great way to actually not have to spend as much money getting ready, so you could save some more money when you're out on the trail itself. I know personally for the pack that I use, there really wasn't much of a sale. The first pack, I should say. The Osprey, there was a sale. I got I think retail for my pack was $310 or $320, and I got it for $233 because it was just a really good sale that was on Osprey's site directly. Later on, when I switched over to my Hyperlate, there was no sale on that. There's hardly ever a sale on that, just because it's super in demand. It's a great backpack, and I'm going to go over that in another video. The quilt that I was using, the Enlightened Equipment, there's a lot of the cottage vendors, Z-Packs, Enlightened Equipment, Gossamer Gear. A lot of them, they do have Black Friday sales and a couple holiday sales. If you sign up for their email list, a lot of times your first things you purchase off of a website, you're going to get a 10% coupon off the sale. That's what they did last year when I was getting a lot of my last minute stuff. They might do that again. I hope they do, just to save you some money, but I don't know for sure if they will. I'm going to assume that they will, because that's a good way to do business for the holidays, is knock a percentage off. I mean, speaking from personal experience, the Enlightened Equipment quilt that I was using, it was a 20 degree, large, wide, and it was an in-stock quilt when I purchased it, and for their Black Friday sale last year, it was 20% off. I can't complain about 20% off a good down quilt, because they're not that cheap to begin with. And my pack, like I said, I got a big sale on the site from Osprey, so save a couple bucks here and there. Keep an eye out for sales. Sign up for those email lists, and they're going to give you that 10% coupon. And that's the way to go to pick up some of the newer gear, so you won't have to root through Craigslist or do too many used things. And after that, really, once you start getting your gear together, you get your stuff lined up, you just start doing your shakedown hikes. Like I said, go on a couple day hikes, go on a couple weekend backpacking trips. Have your friends, if you have friends that are into this kind of thing, again, ask them questions. They will want to help you. I can almost guarantee you they're going to want to help you get into this with them, because they like having folks to go out there with them. The more the merrier. If you're in the woods, everyone's having a great time. Even on bad days, everyone's having a great time. Doesn't matter if the weather or anything is crap. They're having a great time. So you get your gear, get your shakedown hikes, get your system squared away, and then just keep walking. The only way to train for a long hike is to hike. Wear your gear. Once you get comfortable walking in your neighborhood or doing like little walks around, day hikes and things, take your whole kit out. Load up your backpack with everything you're going to need, and just see how it feels. Get comfortable with the gear you plan on carrying. And when you get all those things together, you're well on your way to getting ready for a Thru-Hike. And hey, I know I may not have been able to completely finish my Thru-Hike this year, but I will be doing it again. I will complete the Appalachian Trail. It's just going to be a matter of time. So make sure you're physically capable of hiking. Make sure you have gear that you're comfortable carrying. Make sure you know how to use that gear. And make sure you save up enough money to do the trail. Those are the 4 biggest things I can say for myself that really helped me to get ready for the Thru-Hike attempt that I did here in 2021. The next one I do in 2022 or 2023, I'm going to go through all these steps again. I'm going to make sure I have enough money saved up. I'm going to make sure I'm physically capable. And I'm probably going to switch out a couple pieces of gear because once you know what you like, once you know what you don't like, you can make those changes. And that's what everybody does when they're out hiking. So that's about all I have for now. And all I got to say, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.